Hi. Today we're going to talk about the Kenworth T660 kit and how to install it. This kit works on the T660, T700, and a list of other Kenworth and Peterbilt models that will all be listed in the description. We've got headlight housing here. We've got the projector, bulb, ballast, igniter, wiring, and the tools we're going to need to install it. We've got a T20 Torx screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver, and a ratchet. So, first thing we're going to do is take the covers off. First off the low beam where the projector is and the high beam. We're going to unplug the low beam bulb, which has a little clip on it. Just pull towards you, it slides down. And then we're going to take the projector out. I'm going to move the camera so that you can see a little bit better what's going on there. Alright, looking in the back of the headlight housing, we can see the back side of the low beam projector held in with 4 screws. Shine a light in here so you can see them just a little bit better. There's one down there, one over here, and get the camera aimed right, 2 at the top. Each of those is a Torx T20. We're going to take those out now. Alright. Now, with those 4 screws out, I'm going to pull on the projector. At first it's going to feel like it's a little bit stuck in there. There's a shroud on the front side that's actually clipped on. Just going to pull firmly, and it'll come free. You slide it out of the hole. There we have it. And I'm also going to reach in and grab the screws that I dropped. This is part of the reason why we suggest taking the light out of the truck. At this angle, it's really easy to reach in and grab them. If it's facing down, still in the hood of the truck, you're going to have a hard time with that. Now I'm going to move the light a little bit further away and grab hold of the new projector. If you notice, there are 4 screws around the outside of this projector, and they're in the same locations that the mounting screws were in previously. We're going to take those out and install the projector in 2 halves. So, all 4 screws out, 2 halves of the projector come apart. We're going to take the front half and stick it into the headlight housing. We're not going to need the screws that we just took out, and slide those out of the way. Alright, looking at the back of the headlight housing now, we're going to take the front half of the projector, this half here, and we're going to put it in and snap the shroud on. Generally, I try to take the projector about as flat as I can, get the right edge in just slightly, slide to the right, and then it'll fall right in. Reach in, make sure you don't have the low beam wire in the way interfering with you. Lift it up into place. Then we're going to take the back half of the projector. We're going to drop it in place. And we're going to start the top left screw. I'm going to tip this up just a little bit further so it stays in place while I grab the screwdriver. Give it just enough of a turn that holds in place. And we're going to get the right side lined up. Start a screw over there. See the top two screws in. Same for the bottom two. And we're going to snug them all up. You don't want to get carried away tightening these guys up. The headlight's out. The headlight housing itself is plastic. You just want to get them snug. All right. See, all four screws are in. Let's zoom in here. Now we're to take care of the wiring. So first thing, the connector here we pulled off the low beam is going to go into this connector here that's labeled low beam input. Get the camera to focus on it. Tab facing up. If I hold it like this, tab facing up, red wire closest to you. Plug them together and make sure that the clip snaps in place. You should be able to grab and tug a little bit and it should stay put. Okay. The other end of that connector is labeled ballast, and that's going to plug into the Xenon ballast. This guy. I pull it out of the box. It's got two connectors on it. Power connectors here on the left as I'm holding it. It's got two pins. And this connector from the ballast on the labeled ballast on the harness. I'm going to plug in right there. Make sure it clicks. It's in securely. Set that aside for right now. Alright, next step is to connect the high beam adapter harness in between the original high beam wire and the high beam bulb. What that's going to do is it's going to give us a power connector free to power the shutter solenoid on the new projector. So we're going to disconnect the connector from the high beam, take the high beam shutter solenoid connector that's on the back side of the projector, fish it through to the high beam opening. And take the shutter solenoid connector, which has a green tag, and plug that in the connector you just fished through. It'll only go in one way, it'll click in place. Then take the high beam bulb, connect it to the remaining tag on that adapter, which is labeled OE high beam. Plug it in so the connector snaps in place again. And put the bulb back in place. Now we've got one connector left, that's a high beam input. And we've got the original high beam connector. I'm going to plug those into each other. Make sure they snap in place. So that you got a good connection. Put those back inside. And we're finished on the high beam side. Put the cap on, twist it in place. Next, we're going to install the xenon bulb. To do that, we're going to undo the retaining clip, fold it down. We're going to take the bulb and insert it with the return wire at 6 o'clock position. Stick that in, and then fold the retaining clip back up to the top and hook both ears in place. You push in and then slightly to the outside to hook it in place. Next, take the igniter cable, push it onto the bulb. The top is going to be at about a 10 o'clock position. Then you're going to turn it to the right until it clicks in place, and you'll hear it make a noise. And then the loose end of the igniter cable will plug into the ballast. After you've got that connected, the ballast tucks in the outboard side of the projector. Tuck the cables back in with it. And then we're going to put the cap on. That's it. Then we put the cap on. Took the wiring back inside. Stick the ballast into the outside of the projector. There's a pocket where it'll fit in. Rest. Make sure the cables are all the way inside. And put the cover back on. There you have it. You're all set to put the light back in the truck. Double check that the aim is good and hit the road.